What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Combat Tips Season 3. As you guys can see from the title, we're going to be handling Kabal's brutalities today, so if there's any particular one you are here to see, feel free to hop on down below to either the comments or the description where you can find timestamps to help you get to any of the ones you are interested in. Should there be any buttons I say in today's tutorial that don't entirely make sense to you because you're using a different method of input, feel free to use this little guide I threw together right here, and that should allow you to convert any of the controls I say today into another one that is appropriate for any platform currently hosting Mortal Kombat 11. Now here we are on the cosmetic screen, and that is to show you guys that as of this video's current release date, I have all 19 out of 19 finishers for Kabal, and that means today we will be covering 9 brutalities in particular. As you can see, we're going to be starting off with the Classic today, but again, if there's any particular brutality you have come here to see or learn, feel free to hop on down below to either the comments or the description where you can find timestamps to get you to any of the brutalities featured in today's video. Let's get to it. Alright folks, so here we are starting off with the Classic as mentioned, and this one does have a couple particular requirements, and those are as follows. Now first off, and most importantly, you have to make sure that you do not block an attack during the final round, and keep in mind the final round is just the round that you as a player are going to win on, so that can be either round 2 or 3, and then when it says to not block an attack, you can hit the block button accidentally, but if you do block an attack while you're blocking, then unfortunately you do sacrifice the opportunity to perform this particular brutality. Next up, you want to make sure to finish your opponent off with an uppercut, which is either going to be down Y or down triangle, and then you want to hold the respective button you have activated that uppercut with, which again would either be Y or triangle. So let's go ahead and give you guys a quick demonstration. Alright folks, so as you can see, we are on round 2 here, and first up, I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple quick blocks to show you that it's okay if you accidentally hit the block button on round 2. Just make sure not to be doing this and then take an actual attack. If you block and then take a hit, unfortunately, again, you sacrifice this opportunity to do this particular brutality. Now next up, you need to make sure you hit your opponent and finish them with an uppercut, which again is down Y or down triangle, and it should look a little something like that. Easy enough, folks. Let's move on to the final hit. Alright everybody, we're moving in for the final strike here, and one more reminder, do not block an attack on the final round. As you can see, it's okay if you hit the block button by accident, that's totally okay, just don't take any damage while doing so. And then make sure to finish your opponent with an uppercut, which is either down Y or down triangle, and then hold either Y or triangle during that uppercut to get the result you desire. Let's go for it. Boom. Easy enough, folks. Again, this is the Classic. Every character's got it, so if you have it for one character, you pretty much have it for them all, but I do like to show it off with each different tutorial just to make sure that if you click one, you don't have to scurry around each one to learn this particular brutality. So, on to the next one. Next up, we have the Spin Me Right Round brutality. Now, this one will require you to hit the opponent with at least 3 nomad dashes between rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then when you go in for that final hit, you want to make sure to hit the opponent with 1 more nomad dash. So, let's go ahead and show you guys exactly what that should look like. Alright folks, so a nomad dash right off the bat is going to be back forward A or back forward X, and it should look just like that. If you know Kabal, you definitely know the nomad dash. Next up, one thing you can do is if you're trying to rack up these nomad dashes quick, you can go in for one and immediately go in for another, just like that. So, as you can see, on the second one won't stun him, it will knock them over, so just keep that in mind. But if you want to rack these up quick so you can get this particular brutality, great way to do so. Okay folks, we're going in for the final strike here, and do keep in mind that you need to get at least 3 nomad dashes between rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then you want to make sure that your final hit also comes from a nomad dash. And bear in mind that nomad dash is pretty weak on the side of damage, so should you get your opponent to spin and not actually kill them, you can try and go in for another immediate nomad dash to get that final strike, and it will count if you successfully hit. So that may be the case here. If it is, we'll do it. Otherwise, let's go in for our final strike. Here we go, folks. And there you go, you guys. As you can see, my first strike did not actually kill the opponent, but because we went in immediately for that second strike, no problem. You guys can do the same, and you also can get it on the very first strike should your opponent already have low enough health, but in regards to getting it when they don't, I find this to be a good method to just move in for the first strike and then move in for the second nomad dash, and there you have it. On to our next brutality. Alright everybody, so next up is the Rollin through brutality. Now this one will require that you have the rolling buzzsaw ability, so do make sure this is in your variation should you want to perform this particular brutality. Next up, you want to make sure you use at least 5 saw moves between rounds 1, 2, and 3 whenever you are working your way up to that victory. And do keep in mind it says use, it does not say they have to connect, so as long as you just use the abilities, you should be alright. Beyond that, you want to make sure the final hit itself comes from a rolling buzzsaw. So let's go ahead and give you guys an example of the different saw moves and then show you exactly what the brutality itself should look like. Now again, the requirements only ask us to use 5 buzzsaw moves at some point between rounds 1, 2, and 3, and those buzzsaw moves are as follows. We have the default buzzsaw, which is back forward X or back forward square, which should look something like this. And most of the Kabal variations you have will have this by default. Next we have the rolling buzzsaw, which is the move you have to put in your arsenal in particular, which is down back X or down back square, and it should look like so. And then the other move you can add that counts as a buzzsaw, which is, again, not normally going to be in your variation. It is called the air straight buzzin', and you have to add that yourself, and that is back forward X or back forward square while you are in the air, and that should look just like that. So using any of those moves should count towards this brutality. So again, we have the buzzsaw, the rolling buzzsaw, and the aerial buzzsaw. And by just demonstrating all of those to you guys, I have now thrown at least 6 projectiles, and now we're ready to go in for brutality. Alright folks, so here we are moving in for the final strike here. One more reminder that you just need to use at least 5 buzzsaw moves, which are any of those 3 moves just displayed previously, at some points between rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then make sure the final strike comes from a rolling buzzsaw, which is down back X or down back square, and it should look a little something like that. There we have it, you guys. Really easy brutality to pull off. Just make sure that you at least, again, use those buzzsaw moves at some point, and you'll have this one down no problem. Alright folks, so next up is the ripped away brutality, and this one in particular will require a very specific maneuver with the directional pad, which is as follows. Now, the final hit itself has to come from an amplified hook slam, and during that hook slam, you want to push forward, down, back, up, forward, which to me is really just a roll with the directional pad. So you want to do a full circle with either the controller stick or the directional pad, but let's go ahead and hop in game and I'll give you guys a better demonstration. Now, a normal hook slam is going to be down back B or down back circle, and it should look just like this. Easy enough. However, what we're looking to do here is enhance this move. So we're going to want to make sure we push R1 or the right button while we're doing this move to get instead this particular result. So there we go, you guys. Again, you want to push R1 or about the right button just after Kabal comes and slams in the hook, and that should extend it and allow him to spin the opponent, which is again the animation we want to get for this particular brutality. So let's go ahead and try that again, and there you go, an amplified hook slam, which again is going to be down back B, down back circle, and then just make sure to push R1 or right button just as the hooks slam into the opponent for the first time. Now, something to keep in mind is that during the hook slam, you have to push forward, down, back, up, forward. However, the direction of that will change after you activate the hook slam. So in this case, forward would be right for us. However, as you'll notice, when we do that, he changes to the other side. So forward is actually left now. So just keep in mind that the actual forward direction for Kabal is not going to be where the animation starts, but rather where it ends. So again, if we're on this side, forward has now changed to right, but if we're on this side and use the hook slam, forward is now left. So just keep that in mind for this particular roll, that you will need to do it based on where Kabal is after he has run around. The best advice I can give you guys in regards to the controller is to just take your thumb and roll it. Just do circles. So start at forward, down, back, up, forward, and just do circles. Just keep doing circles Don't do one, just do tons of them. Just do tons of them during that brutality, and you should have no problem getting it. Alright folks, so here we are moving in for that amplified hook slam, which is going to be down back B, right button, or down back circle R1, and then make sure to rotate your thumb from the forward, down, back, up, forward directional pad, and do keep in mind that Kabal's direction changes after you start this move. So we're going to be starting from the left, so forward is going to be left after we get over there. So here we go, you guys. Amplified hook slam, and make sure to roll your thumb around those directional pads, or if you're using the stick, simply rotate the stick to get this. Easy enough. Let's go for it. Amplified, rolling, and there we have, folks. Easy enough. Oof. This is easily one of his best ones for this very specific moment. Oof, right there. I love how all the limbs just go soaring off, and then you get one last little plop of the torso. It's a really good one. So on to the next one, folks. Alright folks, so next up is the Deadly Vapors Brutality. Now, this one will require that you have the Gas Blast in your arsenal, so do make sure that's set up if you want to perform this particular brutality. Now, this may be one of the tougher brutalities to perform, simply because you must not lose a round at any point leading up to the actual finishing hit. So you have to win rounds 1 and then finish your opponent on round 2. There can be no round 3, or unfortunately, that obviously means you have failed at least one of those rounds. Beyond that, all you really have to worry about is finishing your opponent with a gas blast, and make sure to hold forward during that gas blast. So let's go ahead and show you guys exactly what this should look like. Alright folks, so a gas blast itself is very simple. It should be back forward B or back forward circle, and it'll look just like that. Your opponent will get a little bit of a scorch to the face, and you're all set. Alright folks, so let's move in for this final hit here. One more reminder that you cannot lose a round leading up to this brutality, but as you can see, I obviously have taken the first victory, and now we're going to move in for the second, and that will lead up to our brutality, no problem. And just make sure to finish the opponent with a gas blast, which is back forward B or back forward circle, and make sure to hold forward during that gas blast. So let's go for it, you guys. Back forward B, back forward circle, and make sure to hold forward. Little scorch there. Hot. Unfortunately, as you can see, she plops off screen there, so we can't really witness the aftermath, but all the same, if anyone knows the dangers of hot steam, or in this case hot gas, you know that it's no joking matter. So on to the next brutality. Alrighty folks, so next up is the Spinner Winner Brutality. Now this one simply requires that you finish your opponent with a back throw, and during that back throw you want to push down, down, down. Now it just says to push down, down, down 3 times. I like to spam it just for the sake of clarification and making sure that I actually get that brutality. So if you want a tip on my behalf, just spam down as soon as that throw begins. But let's go ahead and show you guys exactly what it should look like. Now, as usual, there are 2 ways you can do a throw. You can use L1 or left button, and it should look something like this. Easy enough. Or you can use square and X, or X and A at the same time, and it'll look just the same. Both are back throws, both are appropriate. It really just depends if you're more of a controller or arcade style player, I would say. Now, something to note is that obviously, no matter how you do a throw, as long as you don't push any direction, it'll always be a back throw. So that is very important to note. We want a back throw. Should you be moving into the opponent while doing that throw, as you can see, you're going to get a different animation. We don't want that animation. We want the back throw animation, which is when you're not moving in any direction and just let the throw do its thing like that. Last but not least, again, we have to push down, down, down during this animation, and as you can see, I like to get the opponent into this throw like so, and now is when I'll start spamming down. Just like that. As soon as they're behind you, right here, now, start spamming down. Just like that. Easy enough, and that usually always guarantees I get this brutality. Alrighty folks, so here we are going in for that final strike. One more reminder, you need to finish your opponent with a throw, which can either be L1 or left button, or if you're more of the arcade style player, you can use square and X or X and A at the same time, and then just spam down, down, down during that animation. Again, you only have to push it 3 times, but I like to spam it. It's really up to you, but here we go, you guys. Moving in for that throw, and now we're spamming down, 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 down. Oof. This is definitely, this is up there with the spinning brutality. I like this one a lot too because it's just so brutal to continuously slam someone's head on the ground. And the first time I saw that throw animation, this is definitely what I was expecting. So if that is what you want from this animation, there you go, you guys. You can get this particular brutality going. Alrighty, folks. So next up is the heart attack brutality. Now this one does require that you have the low hook grab in your arsenal, so please do make sure you have that set up if you want to perform this brutality. Now the requirements for this brutality do ask that you perform a combo of 4 or more that ends with a low hook grab, and that of course means the final hit itself has to come from a low hook grab. So I'll give you guys a demonstration on how I might perform this right now. Okay folks, so the combo we're going to be doing today is very simplistic, very straightforward and easy, so that anyone trying to learn this brutality should be able to perform it so long as you put in the effort. Just keep in mind that you do not have to use this combo. You can actually construct one of your own so long as it is 4 hits or more and that you end it with a low hook grab. Now the first combo in this string is going to come from Kabal's Deep, and that is forward YY or forward triangle triangle, and that's going to get us started. Very easy, should look just like that, you guys. Now right after that, we want to make sure we chain a nomad dash into that, which is going to be back forward A or back forward X, and it'll look just like that. And then last but not least, we want to hit the opponent with a low hook grab while they're spinning, which is going to be back forward Y or back forward triangle, and it'll look just like that. So here we go, you guys. Let's do it all together now. And there we have it. That's 5 hits right there. So one more time, we want the Kabal's Deep, going for the nomad dash, and then get him with that low hook grab. And that counts as 5 hits, and so long as you make this your final combo, you'll have no problem getting this brutality. Let's move in for that final hit. Alright everybody, so we're going to be moving in for that final hit here, and one more reminder, you just need to perform a combo of at least 4 or more hits that ends with a low hook grab. We're going to be using the one I just demonstrated a moment ago, which starts with the Kabal's Deep, which is forward YY or forward triangle triangle. You want to chain that with a nomad dash, which is back forward A or back forward X, and then finish it up with a low hook grab, which is back forward Y or back forward triangle. Let's go ahead and show you guys what that should look like now. This combo usually does about 150 damage, just a little bit more than a throw, so just keep that in mind. You can usually do this one when they have a fair bit of health left, so let's show you what it should look like. And there we have it, folks. Loses their ankles, and they get a nice little slap to the torso on their way out, too. I like this one. It's very stylish, and in reality, when it comes down to the combo brutalities, I admit they're a little bit more of a pain to pull off, but when you do pull them off, it feels all the cooler, all the better, because you put in that little bit of extra effort, so I'm pleased with it, and hopefully you guys are too. On to the next one. Alright folks, so next up is the Screamer brutality. Now this one does require that you have the Gas Blast move in your arsenal, so please do make sure you have that set up if you want to perform this brutality. Next up, the requirements ask that at some point before you move in for your final hit, you perform a Mercy. So if you don't know what that is, I'll go ahead and demonstrate one in a moment, but the final hit itself, after you perform that Mercy, must come from an amplified Gas Blast. So let's go ahead and show you guys what both of these things should look like right now. Okay folks, so a Gas Blast is back forward B or back forward circle, and it should look just like that. However, we want the amplified version, which means you're going to want to push R1 or right button during this animation, and that'll give you this. A cloud should follow the opponent and choke them for just a couple seconds longer. So one more time, back forward B or back forward circle while pushing either right button or R1, and you will get that right there. Easy enough. Alright folks, so next up is the Mercy. Now, a Mercy is essentially, for those of you who don't know, a way to give your opponent some health back, and oftentimes it is done as a diss to say, you're so weak, I'm not afraid to give you more health back just to beat it away. But in times like this, it is also used for brutalities. Brutalities like the one we're using right now actually require you to perform it. So, to do a Mercy, you have to beat your opponent into the finish him screen, and then you want to get to about medium distance. Now to me, medium distance is always about one jump and then one step away from the opponent. From there, you want to make sure you hit the flip stance button, which is usually going to be L2 or left trigger. And you know if you hit it right, as you can see, Kabal is doing a little dance over there. If you've hit the right button, that's what it'll look like. So we want to hold that button, and while we're holding it, push down 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Except in our case, we want to make sure we hit it real quick. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And then let it go, and we should get our mercy. So again, jump away from the opponent. About medium distance. You don't have to get right up there. If you're good at measuring medium distance, just get to medium distance. Hold flip stance button. Down, down, down. Let go. So there we go. Let's go ahead and give you guys a real-time demonstration. The opponent is in the finisher screen. Walking up. Jumping away. About a step away. Trigger. Down, down, down. And there we go, you guys. Just make sure to let go of the trigger only after you have pushed down 3 times. That said, now we can move on for the final hit, which again is going to come from an amplified gas blast. So let's get our opponent just weak enough. I think this should do it, and the gas blast itself is going to be back forward B, back forward circle, and make sure to hit either R1 or right button to get that amplification in there. Let's go for it, you guys. This is probably one of the best ones if you're looking for a nostalgia factor. This is a really good throwback to some of his old, more comedic styled brutalities. I'm really glad they brought this one back. They actually just uncensored the ghost, I believe. I think it was censored previously prior to making this tutorial, so I don't know why they censored it. It was kind of weird. Some people preferred it. I didn't really see either one, so to me, either way, it's a funny brutality, and I think you guys will agree it's a really good one to have if you're there for the nostalgic factor. On to our last brutality, you guys. Alrighty, folks, so our last brutality for today is called Nowhere to Run. Now, the actual requirements for this brutality ask that you do not land a fatal blow at any point during the match. Beyond that, you really just have to finish your opponent with a Left 4 Dead combo, and you want to make sure to hold down during that final hit. So let's go ahead and give you guys a demonstration. Alright folks, so the Left 4 Dead combo is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is push forward B and then X and A at the same time, or forward circle and then square and X at the same time, and it should look just like that. If for whatever reason you don't like pushing square and X or X and A at the same time, you can actually replace it with L1 or left bumper, and it should look something like this. Easy enough, you guys. Alright folks, so we're going to move in for our final hit here. One more reminder that you have to finish the opponent with a Left 4 Dead combo, which is going to be forward B and then X and A, or forward circle and then square and X. You cannot perform a fatal blow of your own at any point during the match. It's okay if the opponent does. As you can see up here, Devora has hers. She hasn't used hers, but we haven't either, luckily, so we can perform this brutality still. And during that Left 4 Dead combo, make sure to hold down. So one more time, forward B and then X and A, or forward circle and then square and X, and hold down during that combo. Let's go for it, you guys. Pop. And her toes are still standing, but unfortunately the rest of her ain't. Oh, tries crawling back to those toes, but it ain't happening. There we have it, folks. That is our last brutality for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Let's move on to our final words for today. Alrighty, folks. So once again, thank you all so much for joining me today. I always really appreciate the company. Hopefully some of you have either found entertainment in these videos, or even better, some education. I hope you get to pick up some new tips, some new tricks along the way, and as always, I really do appreciate the company. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. If you enjoyed the video, as always, feel free to leave me a like or a comment down below, as both are very much appreciated. And if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can find out exactly when more content like this goes live. Depending on this video's release date, feel free to hop over to the polls on my channel and vote for which character will get a brutality tutorial next. And if you don't see your favorite character featured there, feel free to comment their name down below here or even on those polls, and they may have a chance to be featured in next week's poll. As always, folks, I cannot stress it enough. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. As always, stay safe and absolutely stay happy. Peace.